Please help me welcome our 2022 Bass Fishing State Champions.
Just want to reiterate some of those thank yous. One from Coach O'Brien for supporting us, helping us get in tournaments all spring and things like that. To the administration also for supporting us. To all the teachers for helping these guys out with being out of class and things like that the last few weeks. We definitely appreciate that. About 6 years ago, two guys, Ryan Bell and Wyatt Simpson, approached me about starting a fishing club. The idea of helping them get into tournaments because they fished with Wyatt's dad a lot. A couple other guys got involved in that club that year. I drove a boat in the sectional that year for Kate Sales and Bobby Dockendorf. We talked a lot about that year about starting something new, something to pass on to guys in the future, something that, as everybody's mentioned, we didn't have before. So they were always pretty proud of that. As any good coach will tell you, the most important thing on his team or her team beyond their players is their coaching staff. And in this case, that's entirely more true than most other sports. Kyle Juricich couldn't be with us today. Coach Ryan Mouw is with us. Let's give him a round of applause. The ins and outs of the fishing team, as far as the team competition goes, depend wholly on people like Coach Mouw and Coach Juricich being able to give their time, give their money, give their votes. As we all know, gas is not cheap right now, so while the school helps out with some of that, gas is not on the list. So we definitely thank them for their time and effort, for their knowledge, for their love for their kids as always. We literally couldn't do this without them. If you don't know how fishing tournaments work, basically it's on weight. And so a tournament like ours, you get a 5-fish limit. Whoever has the heaviest bag at the end of the day wins the tournament. In our state final tournament this weekend, there were 75 boats. 2 boats, including ours, caught 5 fish. 2 boats caught 4 fish. 7 boats caught 3. 11 boats only caught 2. 17 boats caught 1. And 36 boats had a tough day and didn't catch any fish. The reason I point that out is to point out how much of a grind that these guys have gone through over the last 2 weeks. The day of our sectional, it downpoured literally the entire day. And so battling to be able to get 4 fish in the bag that day was a very important thing to do to qualify for state. The way the weekend went this weekend, with storms on Thursday, 40-mile-an-hour winds at times on Friday, the lake was dirty and not fishing real well. So that's the reason those numbers were so low. Some years when the lake is better, those numbers are a lot different in this tournament. So to point that out is really just how they grinded out the whole day. One of only 2 boats to get a full bag. In other sports, we talk about championship moments such as touchdowns and home runs and things like that. But just to point out a couple of specific moments that I would consider championship moments for these two would be early in the day when they were stuck on 1 fish. Logan and Kinsella caught keepers on back-to-back casts. So they went from 1 to 3 in about a minute and a half. And on a day when the knew was going to be tough, that 3 number was a big number to get to, and then you're kind of in business from there to try to get yourself a cloud. Also on Friday, the day got cut a little bit short because of heavy winds. And so at about noon, we all got a phone call that everybody had to be back in the docks at 1 instead of 3. At that point, they already had their 5 fish for the day, so they could have called the day, kind of taken it easy and just gone back to the dock. Instead, they fished for the entire rest of that next hour, ended up catching 2 fish that replaced 2 of their other fish. And at the end of the day, they were only ahead by 6 ounces. So I would consider that another championship moment as well. We talked a lot about just being happy to be there on Thursday and going into the weekend, trying to go out and get fish in the bag, and everybody had a good weekend, and see what we could do. And then suddenly, Friday night, they found themselves atop the leaderboard, which is obviously a great thing. Maybe a little bit, I don't want to say unexpected, but it's hard to expect that there's 75 votes and you've never done it. So the reason I point that out is how they responded to that pressure was they put in more work. They spent the night restringing polls, charting maybe some new spots on the map, checking out wins for the next day, and kind of developing their plan to go forward. So we are very confident that had the second day happened, they would have only extended their lead tonight. To close out here before I give you Brett Mouw, at JC we talk a lot about family. I mentioned Ryan Bell earlier. The reason that Ryan Bell came to me in the first place is because Ryan Bell is kind of a member of my family. We had a boat that was literally full of Juricich family. There's a Kinsella that just won a state championship, and everyone who's ever gone to Joliet Catholic knows a Kinsella. And there's a bunch of Kinsellas with a bunch of rings, and Logan now has one that nobody else has. To finish that off, Coach Mouw told a little story during the ceremony on Saturday, just about his family and his and Brett's introduction to fishing, and how much this meant to them because of Coach Mouw's dad. So just to be part of people's moments like that is why I do what I do. So I'll give you Brett Mouw.
Well, this is really crazy. I feel like I've been preparing my whole life for this. Started COVID. This has become really important to me, and especially with my dad spending countless hours on the water, it just means so much to us. And especially growing up in a family where football and fishing is really big. That's two sports right there where it's really mentally, it puts a toll on you, and that's for the better too. That's awesome. It makes you a strong person, brings you closer to God. And so I want to thank the faculty. Before we went off the state, we got a lot of good luck wishes, and that was awesome. It meant a lot. What's really important is Coach C's were making this possible, giving us details for all the tournaments, especially the tournaments before we went off the state. That made it that much easier, and all the times we traveled. Thank you, Dad, so much taking me to all these tournaments, whether it's Florida, Arkansas, Alabama, doesn't matter. We go to it. We make it happen. I would like my mom to stand up really quick. My dad's already standing up right there. A lot of money went into this, whether it was gas money, taxable expenses. I can't explain how much money and sacrifices we put into this. Especially when my parents, they're my huge supporters. My grandma, I love her dearly. She's awesome. She asked me right after the tournament. I called her, and she was really happy. My sister, she texted me right after the tournament. It was a big deal. This is one of my biggest tournaments, and there you go. God bless us with a victory. I can't explain the feeling right now. It's just an amazing feeling. So, but if you have anything you want to do in your life, go follow it. Bring God with you the whole way. It's just an amazing accomplishment. And thank you, Logan. Thank you, Logan, for being the best fishing partner. I mean, I can't do it without you with all the laughs we have on the boat, sharing fishing knowledge, just laughing. We have all our inside jokes, especially after our tournament. After we won, we had pizza. We went back to the hotel room and decided to go out fishing during a thunderstorm at a local Walmart pond. And Cam ended up catching his personal best at 7 pounder. Unbelievable. So I just want to end up saying, go